What's going on, YouTube? Stay the man here, aka 12 Gauge 365, man. I'm back at y'all with another one. So look, I'm not gonna drag the intro out any longer. Let's just go ahead and break down this Iron Bowl and let's talk about the new coach we got up there in our front office. So look, obviously Auburn loses 27-20. Now it was a very back and forth game. Ty Simpson pretty much kind of flipped the script on me and didn't really make the mistakes that I thought he was gonna make. He played a lights out game, 18 for 35 and three touchdowns. Threw for three touchdowns. Obviously, him and Isaiah Horton was they was on it. They was on it. Obviously, I mean, I think Isaiah Horton is kind of like how Malcolm Simmons on Auburn. It's kind of like they've been the sleeper because everybody was talking about Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard, but I feel like Isaiah Horton has been. I mean, he's kind of been the bright spot on Auburn's wide receiver core, and Malcolm Simmons is kind of like the sleeper wide receiver that's been kind of like the best one in our wide receiver room as well. Malcolm Simmons, three catches for 143 yards, almost 48 yards per catch, and a touchdown to add to that. Now, like I said, Ty Simpson kind of played lights out, 18 for 35, three touchdowns. And Ashton Daniels, I feel like Ashton Daniels played a lights out game as well, 18 for 39, 259 yards, passing with the passing touchdown and the interception. And then he obviously runs for 108 yards off of 23 carries and adds another touchdown through the ground as well. Now, look, me personally, in my opinion, looking at how Ashton Daniels has performed this whole year, I feel like there's nothing that Jackson Arnold has done that Ashton Daniels couldn't have done and even better. I mean, 23 carries, 108 yards. Jackson Arnold did that his first three games, and he kind of like, they pretty much had a game plan for him. Ashton Daniels did that. Ashton Daniels did that. 108 yards, 23 carries. He pretty much turned it up and ran all over Alabama. I think like his first three or four carries was like for 5 yards each. So like I feel like he was really consistently running against Alabama and doing it successfully. Something that I don't think Jackson Arnold would have been able to do. I think the game probably would have gotten out of hand and probably would have gotten away from us early had Jackson Arnold been the starting quarterback. So hopefully he transfers and goes off to find greener pasture somewhere else. But we still love him for what he's done and, sparking this offense and giving us something that we really, thought we was going to be able to go off of, man. Now, I don't really want to blame him for everything that we've been going through. Obviously, 75 to 80% of that has to go to Hugh Freeze, but Jackson Arnold came into this and portrayed the image that he wasn't going to have the same problems that he did with Oklahoma. And then he comes over here and has the same problems that he did with Oklahoma and he gets benched. And like I said, I feel like Ashton Daniels has been doing everything right. And like I said, I think he does everything that Jackson Arnold does, but better. And obviously, Deuce Knight with the last game with Mercer, he pretty much turned it up. And we obviously know he's going to be the future quarterback of this program. But I was kind of hoping he would make an intro into the Iron Bowl and run a couple of packages, but it didn't surprise me that they didn't put him in the game. Obviously, with him being a freshman, that might have been too big of a moment for him. But I felt like he did it. He did really well against Mercer, and that was deserving of a few packages. And maybe he could have done something amazingly to throw the game in our favor. But either way, like I feel like the game was back and forth, and it was kind of like some pretty good trench warfare, like I thought it was going to be. I mean, that's how it is with the SEC. All of these games are going to be determined by how well the offense and defensive line does, and that's kind of been proven. Like I said, the game was kind of back and forth until Todd Simpson connected with Isaiah Horton and kind of capped the game off. Auburn kicked two field goals and made it 6 to I believe 17 before it was before Alabama. I mean, before Malcolm Simmons started to turn up. And like I said, man, it was a very back and forth game, and we did everything that I thought we was gonna do. Like we played some of the best football. I think we played some really good football in the Iron Bowl, but I do feel like we played better football leading up to this. But like I said, man, it's not something that we can fully blame on Jackson Arnold. Like I said, Hugh Freeze has to take the blame for the most of the issues that we've been having. But the Auburn defense, obviously, this has been the bright spot the whole season. Auburn defense has been turning up. Now, the defense did really well. 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and 4 pass deflections. Xavier Atkins, man. Xavier Atkins, I really feel like he's been one of the better defensive anchors of our team. Honestly, 3 total tackles. He had 3 total tackles and 1.5 sacks. And obviously, I feel like it's really, I feel like it's really promising that he did say he's go ahead and he's already said that he's going to commit to Auburn for the rest of his college football playing career. And like I said, he's been one of the best defensive players on the team. 60 tackles, 9 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. I mean, dude, he's been balling out. He's been balling out, and there's nothing to really, there's nothing to really like. There's nothing really too much more to say, man. I'm just glad he's coming back. So, like I said, man, definitely with Xavier Atkins coming back, man, I definitely feel like we're gonna have some some ammunition for our defense to keep going and keep being one of the best defenses in the SEC as well. And like I said, man, Malcolm Simmons, hopefully he comes back. I do got to give him respect because I did call him Malcolm Bennett. I don't know what my mind was thinking. I don't know what my mind was on last video. I did call him Malcolm Bennett, but his name is Malcolm Simmons. So I do apologize for that. But like I said, I feel like he's been the most I feel like he's really been like the sleeper, if barring Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton, I really feel like he's been the bright spot. He's really been the bright spot. He consistently makes plays. I really wish Horatio Fields didn't go down with his injury because I feel like he's been one of the best third down wide receivers that we've had. He's really been making some good plays. He's really made some good plays in the beginning of the season before he went down. So hopefully, I mean, I'm not sure. I think he's a junior. He might be. He's either a junior or a senior. So I don't know. Hopefully, he has some eligibility to come back or at least transfer and try to get some more time in his college career. But moving on, man, moving on. So like I said, man, very back and forth game. I really feel like in the next couple of years coming up, we these are games that we're gonna end up closing out. Like I said in the beginning, like I said in the last video, we are losing close games to these top 5 and top 3 and top 10 teams. I mean, look, we lost to Oklahoma. They were number 8. They were number 8 after they beat Alabama 24-17. We lost that by a touchdown. Texas A&M, I feel like that's our first true loss, but we lose that 16-10. That's less than a touchdown. Then we go and lose to Georgia 20-10. That's less than 2 touchdowns. And like, look, then we lose to Vanderbilt. They're a top 15 team. We lose that by a touchdown. Then we lose to Alabama by 7 points. I had the game 27-21 for Auburn, but 27-20 for Alabama. Like, it was pretty much close. It's just kind of flipped. I wanted to put the 6-point favor in Auburn's favor, but like I said, like that was just me wishful thinking and me being biased, me being a biased Auburn fan. But look, man, like I said, next year, hopefully in these next coming up years, we are gonna close out these games, and like I said, we'll get to those 8-win, 9-win, 10-win seasons like we deserve to be. All right, now when DJ Durkin was installed as the head coach, me personally, I was just happy to see Hugh Freeze go. We could have took anybody at that point. I was just happy to see Hugh Freeze get out of there. I think it was obvious by the Texas A&M loss that he just wasn't going to be that guy for us. And I just don't know why some of these programs just don't pull the plugs early. But that's just my personal opinion. But obviously, DJ Durkin will finish off his Auburn career as being 1-2 as the head coach, 1 win and 2 losses. But like I said, I feel like those 2 losses weren't bad losses. Like I said, starting with the Vanderbilt loss, we pushed him into overtime. We lost that 45-38 by a touchdown. I feel like when you got guys like Diego Pavia that have been, when you get guys that have been in college for so long and have been in college for that many amount of years, they just, the veteran factor, like they're always going to be able to close those games out, man, because they have seen stuff like that. They have seen those situations so many times. They're always going to be able to close those games out. So I can't really blame anybody for that loss, but just Vanderbilt, being a great team, being a great program. And obviously with the Alabama loss, like I said, it was a very back and forth game. Very back and forth game. We lose that 27-20. Now, I had it 27-21 in Auburn's favor. I wanted to put the 6-point spread in their favor, but that didn't happen. 27-20. It was close enough, but like I said, obviously Alabama won that. That was just me being a biased Auburn fan. And, the game ended up going how it went. Now, with Alex Golesh, it has been confirmed that Alex Golesh will be our new head coach. Now, for the past few weeks, they have been teasing John Sumrall from Tulane. They have been teasing him being our new head coach, and I didn't really know that much about him. I didn't really know enough about him to really call it either way. I know that there was, for a brief moment, I know that Auburn was targeting Lane Kiffin. I feel like Lane Kiffin would have been a perfect kick in the gut to Alabama. But, he was never going to come over. He was never going to come this way. Obviously, he was looking more south towards LSU it was pretty much confirmed LSU was going to be the team for him the whole time. But, John Sumrall ends up going to Florida. We don't get him, and we ended up getting Alex Golesh from the University of South Florida. Now, when he was first announced, I didn't really know much about him, but I had to do my digging and do my research. And honestly, I really feel like Auburn kind of won the lottery on this, because I feel like with his schemes and he's definitely an offensive coach. I'll just say that right now. He's definitely an offensive coach. But again, when he was first hired, I was kind of nervous about it because I kind of felt like we was going to run into the same Hugh Freeze situation. But with Alex Golesh, we kind of getting even a more breath of fresh air. Now he's 23-15 in his head coaching record. His first two seasons at USF were 7-6, and he kind of split even 4-4 in his conference in the American Conference. So. And obviously with this past season has been his best season at USF. He went 9-3 and he goes 6-2 in the American Conference. And he's got I think he had one of the top five offenses in college football with USF. So I'll have to go back and check my numbers, but I did. I'm pretty sure he had a pretty good offensive scheme and offensive game plan with USF. And like I said, the numbers show for themselves. I mean, he's been around for a long time. He's been around for a long time. He was the offensive coordinator at Tennessee. So I really feel like him being an OC in the SEC already kind of gives him a bit of an edge and gives him a bit of a good foundation and a good head start. The only problem is that he hasn't been a coach in the SEC yet. He hasn't been a head coach, and he hasn't coached a game in the SEC, and everybody knows how crazy it is playing down here. But honestly, I really like, after watching the press conference with him, like he already said that he's gonna pretty much utilize, like, he knows that Auburn has an offensive team there. He knows we can be a great offensive based team, and he's gonna come in. He's gonna obviously, he said he's gonna be aggressive recruiting. He's gonna be aggressive with the offense, and he said he's gonna come out fast. He's gonna come out hard, and he's pretty much gonna do everything that Hugh Freeze was supposed to do. So I feel like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little fired up watching his interview and watching his press conference. He's already looking forward to next fall, and he said, look, he can't wait to see those 88,000 fans in the stands, and he can't wait for kickoff already. So look, he's saying all of the right things that we want to hear. He's saying all the right things, and I honestly, I feel like, I mean, he has ties to Florida, Ohio. He's been around the Big Ten, the Big 12, Southeastern, Midwest Conference, SEC. Like, I mean, the guy's been around. Like, he's been around the block. So for me to sit up here and say that he's going to be a fish out of water coming into the SEC, that might kind of be a blanket statement for me to say. But I feel like he's more than equipped. Like, he's more than equipped to be able to turn this football program around. He's going to have the financial resources. He's going to have the money to give. You know what I'm saying? Like Auburn is fully behind him, and they fully backing him and what he plans on doing in his crusade. So look, man, I'm excited. I can't wait for the off season to see what kind of moves he's going to be making. I mean, we obviously already lost a couple of recruits already with the wrap up of the Iron Bowl and the end of the season. But look, like I said, man, players come, players go. But like I said, with Xavier Atkins coming back, hopefully Cam Coleman comes back. I think with him being from Phoenix City, him kind of already being close around the area, I feel like that's kind of a benefit for us as well. So hopefully he decides to come back for his junior season. And obviously, hopefully Malcolm Simmons comes back, because like I said, I feel like he's been one of the best wide receivers on our team. And look, I mean, Deuce Knight, obviously he had his freshman season. I mean, I don't even know if they put a red shirt on him or not. But yeah, he obviously Deuce Knight. We still have him coming back. So like I said, man, we got a lot of hope, and we've got a lot of promise, and we got a lot of green. We have a lot of green check marks that are already in our favor going into the next season. So man, look, man, I don't. Obviously, I'm rambling at this point, man, but I just feel like it was kind of a lackluster season for us, a losing season. But like I said, man, we can build off on that. And with a new coach, and obviously he's gonna shake some stuff up. So I can't wait to see it. I'm ready to see it. So hey, man, we'll have to see how it goes, man. So yeah, man, we will keep this thing rolling, man. So we will holler at y'all and see y'all on the next video, man. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay dangerous. I think the next thing I'll probably drop, I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen with this Ohio State and Indiana game. So I'll probably do a video on that, because I do love the Ohio State program as well. Obviously, I'm from Alabama, so this blue and orange is what I'm gonna wear. So yeah, man, we'll do this. We'll do a review of this Ohio State and Indiana game next. And yeah, man, just be on the lookout for a lot more content to drop, man. So yeah, man, we will see y'all on the next one, man. Holla at y'all.